I'm reflecting on the interaction between myself and Mr. Grigo. And for this reflection, I will use Gibbs reflective circle to structure my reflection. So I was given a task to assess and train Mr. Grigo on how to dress, using his left hand to support his right hand side, which is the affected hand side. So when I got to his bedside, I made arrangements on a comfortable chair, placing it beside the left hand side in a conducive environment. And for this assessment also, I use modes to structure my assessment. So before I start the task, I introduce myself to Mr. Grigo and I ask for his consent on probably if I should start or not, and he gave consent to start. So I asked him if there is any question. He said no, that the only question he has is the challenges on how to use his right hand side, especially to dress, because he's finding it difficult to dress and to perform his occupational functioning, especially his ADL in the aspect of dressing, eating, bathing, and other activities like that. So for my analysis, I found out that Mr. Grigo faced challenges with his right hand side, which is the affected side, because it affects his occupational functioning. And also the goal is to teach him how to use his left hand side to put on cardigan to support his right hand side. And for the steps, before I introduce the step, I use biomechanical frame of reference to see how the limbs is able to move. So after that, I taught him the steps on putting on his cardigan using his left hand side to support his right hand side. By taking the cardigan with his left hand side, place it on the laps, find the sleeve of the right hand side, then use the left hand side to place the right hand side in the cardigan, while he uses left hand side to put on the clothes, firstly to the right hand side, then put his left hand side inside the cardigan, then also after that put it over his head, then adjust the body from the shoulder, then fitting to the other part of the body. Then also I taught him some safety tips, especially in sitting properly, then position the hand properly, then not bending, so that to avoid bending posture, then also to avoid back pain, because the muscle that is the joint and muscle that is involved, we have the phalanges, we have the elbow joints, we have the shoulder joints that are involved in the movement. So you need to place his hand properly. Then also we concluded on for the next section, we concluded on next week Wednesday by 10 a.m. But before our conclusion, I really engage Mr. Grigo. He knows what to do. He knows what is expected of him to do, and also the health safety. And before the conclusion, I asked him if there is any question, and he said no question, that is okay. And we concluded next week Wednesday by 10 a.m.